Hello, in this session we are going to deal with yet another session of simple stresses and strains. Earlier we have seen two sessions where we have seen basic equations and also the basic problems, the simple problems. Today, before starting this session, let us have a just a quick recap of what we have done earlier. That is, we are finding simple stresses and strains. So a simple stress is whenever an axial load is acting on a body which either pulls or pushes, then the resistance is developed across the cross section. That resistance to the force of the area, we call it as a stress. So stress is load per area. Whenever the stress is produces uniform, the force produces uniform stresses across the section, then such stresses are called simple stresses. Therefore, the simple stresses are stresses which are average stresses throughout the section. Similarly, we have seen what are tensile forces and compressive forces. The forces which pull the body, that is, the forces which tend to increase the length of the body, they are called as tensile stresses. The forces which act axially and compresses the body or results in decrease in length of the body, we call them as compressive forces. So the stresses offered are stresses which are developed due to these tensile forces or tensile stresses, or compressive forces or compressive stresses. We have seen that when force P are acting, then force by area, that is, this area is resisting the force P, that is, P by A is the stress. Therefore, whether it is tensile or compressive, the stress is force by area. This is the body for which we are applying the compressive force, the forces which are tending to push the body, or the forces are coming together, they are facing each other. Then the stress developed is compressive stress, that is, this cross section, that is, any section which is normal to the body, is normal to that force, is offering some resistance. That resistance is we call it as stress. Similarly, whenever there is some stress, the body tends to increase in its length. So that increment in length, that is the elongation or compression by its original length, that is the ratio between the ratio of elongation to its original length, we call it as strain. That is, whenever a force is applied, stress is induced. Similarly, a strain is also induced in the body in the form of either elongation or compression, depending upon the tensile force or compressive force acting on it. Therefore, we can say strain E is equal to delta L by L. That is, strain, generally we call it as epsilon. E strain is equal to delta L by L. So, for a condition of simple strain to occur, we have to have some prerequisites. That is, some factors which should be satisfied. That is, the material should be homogeneous and isotropic, the stresses should be simple, and the body should be prismatic. That is, the cross-sectional area of the body should be uniform, and the material should be homogeneous, that is all particles should be all parts should have the same composition, and also the isotropic, that is the elastic properties of the material should be same in all the three direction, that is x, y and z direction. The elastic properties should be same. Similarly, we have different strains, that is tensile strain, compressive strain, shear strain and volumetric strain. That is whenever there is elongation due to tensile force, then that such strain is called the tensile strain. Similarly, when compression, due to compression, tensile compressive strain occurs. Similarly, due to some shear stress, that is due to some deformation, then shear strain occurs. Due to change in volume, we will get the volumetric strain. Similarly, we have seen the Hooke's law, that is within the elastic limit, stress is proportional to strain. Hooke has conducted many experiments on different materials, and he found out that within some elastic limit, stress is proportional to strain. That is, as stress increases, strain increases linearly. So we can say stress by strain is equal to constant because it is a straight line. So therefore, stress by strain is equal to constant. That constant we call it as modulus of elasticity or Young's modulus. Therefore, stress by strain sigma by epsilon is equal to capital E. So under the axial loads, the body deforms. That is, it changes generally. It changes its length. Consequently, it changes its lateral dimensions also. Here, if you see the figure, the original length was the green lines, the green borders, and due to application of force, it has increased to some delta L. That is, this dotted line represents the body which is changed, deformed after the application of force. Therefore, the final length will be L plus delta L. The initial length will be L. Therefore, change in length will L plus delta L minus L, that is delta L. Therefore, strain is delta L by L. So, from Hooke's law, we can say stress by strain is equal to modulus of elasticity. Therefore, stress is P by A by delta L by L. That is, we can say E is equal to PL by AE. So by rearranging the terms, the delta L, the change in length is equal to PL by AE. That is force, applied force into original length by area of cross section into modulus of elasticity. If we know all these four terms, the delta L is simple PL by AE. We have seen some examples in the earlier session. That is, we have seen a simple problem for finding the stress. That is, we have applied a stress force of 10 kilonewtons on a bar of 1 meter length and cross section of 10 into 10 mm. So the area of cross section is 100 mm square. The load is 10 kilonewtons, that is 10,000 newtons. So load by area is 10,000 newtons by 100. So we will get 100 Newton per mm square, that is 100 megapascals. Similarly, we have seen a steel bar which is pulled by some force. The force we are not interested in right now because we have to find only the strain. So we are interested in only the elongation, that is change in length, and the original length. So elongation is 2 mm, the bar length is 1 mm. So strain is equal to delta L by L, that is 2 by 1000. 2 by 1000 is 0.002 or 0.2%. Similarly, we have seen a metal bar of 2 meters length having cross section of 400 square millimeters is pulled by a 20 kilonewtons force. If the elongation is 1 mm, we have to find the elasticity of bar, modulus of elasticity. So for finding the modulus of elasticity, we need stresses and strains. So in the first step, we are finding stress, that is force, that is 20 kilonewtons by area 400 mm square, that is 20,000 by 4 for 400, that is 50 Newton per mm square. We are getting the stress. Similarly, strain is equal to delta L by L. Delta L is 1 mm. Change original length is 2000 mm. So 1 by 2000, that is 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4 is the strain. As we discussed earlier, that strain doesn't have any units. Stress has the units of force by area. That force units are newtons and area units are millimeter square. So therefore, modulus of elasticity is stress by strain, that is 50 Newton per mm square by 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So it is, now we get 1 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. So therefore, the modulus of elasticity is 1 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. If we observe, the modulus of elasticity and the stress units are same, because stress by strain, stress by some numerical value, so we will get only stress units. Similarly, we have seen some other example using a metal bar of 2 meters length and cross-sectional area 500 mm square pulled by a force of 100 kilonewtons. Calculate the stress, strain and elongation if the modulus of elasticity is given. So here also we have found by knowing the modulus of elasticity, we are finding the delta L. So here we can see stress is in this problem, the elongation modulus of elasticity is given. So finally we have to find the force to get the elongation of, sorry, this is the earlier problem. So here our aim is to find the stress, strain and elongation. So we know stress is load by area. We got 100,000 newtons by 100,000 newtons. Area is 500 mm square. Therefore, stress is equal to force by area. We get 200 Newton per mm square. So here, to find the strain, stress by strain is equal to modulus of elasticity. We know that relation. Therefore, strain is equal to stress by modulus of elasticity. So 200 Newton per mm square by 2 into 10 to the power of 5, that is 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 is the strain. But we know original length is 2 meters. So strain is nothing but your change in length by original length. So if we say delta L by L is equal to delta L by 2000 is equal to 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3, that is delta L by 2000. Therefore delta L will be equal to 2000 into 10 to the power of minus 3, that is 2 mm. Or delta L directly we can say PL by AE. So delta L is equal to P by A into L by E. P by A we got 2000, that is stress 200 Newton per mm square into L is 2000 by modulus of elasticity 2 into 10 to the power of 5. We will get 2 mm in this way also. So we can do it directly using the formula, because here in the question we were asked to find out the stress, strain and elongation. So directly we cannot use this formula delta L is equal to PL by AE, because here stress we need strain and also the change in length. Otherwise we can straight away, if only delta L is to be found out, then we can straight away use the formula PL by AE. Now we are taking some other example here, that is, it is an example we are done earlier. It is similar to that example, but here we are taking a rod of area, cross section area of 500 mm square, and we need to find the force required to produce 2 mm 1 mm elongation. If the modulus of elasticity of the bar is given as 2 into 10 to the power of 5, the length of the bar is given, the area of cross section is given. Only we have to find out the P. So P is only the term unknown here. E is given, L is given, delta L is given, A is given. So here stress is equal to load by area. So here load is P, area is 500 mm square. So change in length we know, that is 1 mm, original length is 2000 mm, strain is equal to 5 into 10 to the power of 4 we got. So therefore we can get from this equation stress by strain is equal to modulus of elasticity. So stress is equal to modulus of elasticity into strain. Therefore stress is equal to modulus of elasticity, it is given as 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square, and strain we got 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4, that is delta L by L was 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Therefore now if you see stress is equal to E into E, that is stressing the modulus of elasticity into strain. Therefore it is 2 into 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 5 into 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So we will get this as 100 Newton per mm square. That is 2 into 5 is 10, 10 to the power of 5 into 10 to the power of minus 4 is another 10. So we will get 100 Newton per mm square as the stress. But we know stress is P by A, that is force by area. Therefore force is equal to stress into area. Therefore we, by knowing the stress and area, stress is 1000 Newton per mm square and area is given as 500 mm square. Here area is 500 mm square. Therefore we can find out P is equal to stress into area. Here stress is P by A, so P is equal to stress into area. Therefore 100 into 500 is 50,000 newtons, that is 50 kilonewtons. That is the force required to produce the elongation of 1 millimeter for a length of 1 meter rod and cross sectional area of 500 mm square, and also the rod has the modulus of elasticity of 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. So every metal has its own elastic properties. So this modulus of elasticity is different for different metals. Normally for steel it ranges from 2 to 2.1 or around 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square, or 2 into 10 to the power of 5 megapascals. So if we this modulus of elasticity is found out in the laboratories by conducting a tensile stress, by putting the rod into the tensile, into the some universal testing machine or some other such machine. We will put the tensile force on the rod. Therefore the force by its cross sectional area gives the stress. By plotting the stress strain curve, we will know that the stress by strain will give you the modulus of elasticity. So that is how we know the modulus of elasticity of every metal. Generally, depending upon the type of metal, it has its own elastic property. So modulus of elasticity is one of those elastic properties which are generally constant and they are specific to that particular metal. Not only metal, any material, maybe wood, maybe any other, need not be metal, any rubber or any body which is elastic, which have some extension when we apply the force, that is which has some deformation, then that body we can find out the modulus of elasticity, that is it is a material property of the particular material. Similarly, in the second example, we will try to find the modulus of elasticity if the elongation is 2 mm. The diameter is given in this problem. That is, it is a simple problem in which the circular rod, cross section of circular cross section rod is given instead of a square bar or any other bar. We have to find out the modulus of elasticity if the elongation is 2 mm. The rod is of length 2 meters, that is 200 mm length, and the diameter of the bar is 25 mm. So the area of cross section will be pi into pi d square by 4, that is pi into 25 square by 4. Therefore, stress is equal to, we know that it is load by area. So stress we can write as a sigma is equal to P by A. Load P is equal to, it is given as 100 kilonewtons, so it is 100,000 newtons. We want to be consistent with the units because the modulus of elasticity length we will get in Newton per mm square generally. So we are converting all the units, all the kilonewtons to newtons and meters to millimeters. P is 100 kilonewtons, that is 100,000 newtons. Kilo is 1000, therefore 100 into 1000, so 100,000 newtons. D is 25 mm. So area is pi into 25 square by 4, that is 490.87 mm. Stress is force by area, that is 100,000 by 490, that is up to 203.71 Newton per mm square. Because the area is 490, it is almost 100 into 1000 by 500, that is roughly it is 200, that is exactly it is 203.71 Newton per mm square. So by simple calculation, by using our judgment, we can say what is roughly the answer. So this is 100,000 by, let us say it is 500. So the answer should be around 200. So we are getting 203. So as I said earlier, we use calculators to calculate the problems, but we have to have the idea about the, sometimes we may commit some mistakes with the calculator. So it is better to check with our mathematical knowledge. That is simple arithmetics, we can check it. Roughly if it is 200, we can say that 203.71 is correct, because in our modern calculators they are having several functions. So we tend to do the problem in one stroke. So if we do not put proper brackets or properly they are not sequenced, we get the wrong answer. We know the stress, that is stress is 203.71. We know we will find out the strain by knowing the elongation and original length. So elongation is 2 mm, original length is 2000 mm, that is 2 meters. We have converted into mm. So now the strain is 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 or 1 by 1000. This modulus of elasticity is stress by strain. Stress we got as 203.71 divided by 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Therefore it is 2.03 into 10 to the power of minus 5. 2.03 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. That is 2.03 into 10 to the power of 5 megapascals. As we discussed earlier, 1 Newton per meter square is 1 Pascal. Therefore, Newton per mm square will be megapascals, because mm's, if we convert into meter square, it will be 10 to the power of 6. That is 10 to the power of 6 is nothing but 10 to the power of 3, as you know, it is kilo, 10 to the power of 6 is mega, and 10 to the power of 9 is giga. Therefore, here we can say it is 2.03 into 10 to the power of 5 megapascals. Then we will go to the another example. Here we will see a hollow metal section, that is a pipe. Let us suppose it is a pipe of 1.5 meters length and outer diameter. It is a pipe which has some thickness. So inner diameter, outer diameter is 50 mm and the thickness of the pipe is 2 mm. It is pulled by a force of 150 kilonewtons. So calculate the modulus of elasticity if elongation of the rod is 3 mm. So on application of 150 kilonewtons force, the elongation is 3 millimeters. So we need to find the modulus of elasticity of that particular material. The material may be some material, we do not know, we do not want also what is that material. Our aim is to find out what is the modulus of elasticity of that particular material, who is the pipe made of that particular material. The pipe is of outer diameter 50 mm, that is generally we call it as 2-inch pipe, and thickness is 2 mm. The thickness of the pipe is 2 mm. Therefore, when the pipe is pulled by 150 kilonewtons force, the pipe, it is a piece of pipe which is of 1.5 meters length, then it is pulled by some force of 150 kilonewtons. So on application of this force, there will be some stress on the cross section. Because the pipe is hollow, the cross section is only a small ring. That is, it is not entire circle. Suppose it would have been a solid pipe, the entire pi by 4 into 50 square area would have been stressed, or that area would have been offered the resistance to the applied force. But now only we have an area which is in the form of a ring. That cross-sectional area is offering the resistance to the applied force. So we know one thing we have to keep in mind, that the cross-sectional area means every cross-sectional area is offering, not only at center or at 3 by 4 or somewhere. So every slice, every cross-sectional area throughout the length of 1.5 meters, they are offering the resistance. Otherwise the pipe would have been broken or sheared into 2 pieces. So instead of that, if the pipe is intact, that means that every resistance is within its limit, so it is not breaking. But the pipe is offering some resistance to the external force. The external force is trying to break the pipe. The internal resistance is trying to retain its own shape, size, and that its composition. That is, in the way the applied force is trying to break it, the resistance is trying to protect the pipe or retain its shape and size. So there is a conflict between the applied force and the internal resistance. Therefore, applied force, which is equal to 150 kilonewtons, is being resisted by some area. That is the area in the shape of a small ring. If you see the cross section of a pipe, we can observe only a small ring because inside it is hollow. Therefore, the area of the ring, area of the pipe which is offering the resistance is only pi into 50 square minus 46 square, because the entire diameter, outside diameter is 50, one side it is 2 mm thick, the other side it is 2 mm thick. So the hollow diameter will be equal to 50 minus 2 and minus 2, that is 46 mm. So inside diameter will be 46, outside diameter will be 50, that is 46 plus 2 mm thick on one side of the diameter, and 2 mm on the other side of the diameter makes the outer diameter. So therefore the inner diameter is 46 mm. Many students, either due to carelessness or due to haste, they simply remove only one side, that is the inner diameter. They tend to put it as 48 mm. So we should be careful that we should remove both sides of the diameter. That is, to get the inner diameter we have to remove the two thicknesses on either side of the diameter. Therefore now area is small d, that is the internal diameter is 50 minus 2 plus 2 or 2 into 2, that is 2 thickness of 2 mm, that is equal to 46 mm. Therefore area is equal to pi into d square minus d square by 4, or pi by 4 into d square minus d square, that is we will get 301.59 mm square. Therefore stress is force by area. Force is 150,000 by area 301, that is roughly equal to 150,000 by 300, that is around 500. So we will get 497.36 Newton per mm square. Since strain is equal to delta L by L, we know strain is change in length by original length, that is change in length is 3 mm, it is given, and original length is 1.5 meters, that is 1500 mm. So 3 by 1500, 3 mm by 1500 mm, mm gets cancelled, so strain doesn't have any units, so it is a simple ratio. So 3 by 1500 is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Therefore we get modulus of elasticity E is equal to stress by strain. Stress is 497.36 Newton per mm square by strain is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So we will get, that is 497 by 2, that is 248.68 into 10 to the power of 3, or generally we express in terms of modulus of elasticity as 2.487 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. Generally the steel modulus of elasticity of steel is 2.2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square, or 2.1 Newton per mm square, in the range of 2 to 2.1 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. So we get this as 2.487 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. Maybe this material is steel material, or some compound of steel, galvanized iron or some other iron. We may assume that due to the modulus of elasticity, we may assume that it may be some alloy of steel. It is not necessary, but simple assumption. By knowing the modulus of elasticity, we are guessing what type of material, which type of material it is. So to get an idea that the steel has modulus of elasticity of 2 or 2.1 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square, generally the mild steels and other steels. So we can assume that by looking at the values, we can, by knowing the properties of different materials, we can assume what type of material it is. Here there is at another example. Here a hollow metal section of 2 meters length and outer diameter of 50 mm is pulled by a force of 200 kilonewtons. Calculate the thickness required to limit the elongation by 2 millimeters. Modulus of elasticity of that material is 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. Here we have to find the thickness so that the elongation is restricted to 2 mm for that particular force of 200 kilonewtons. So here a length of the bar is 2 meters. It is pulled by 200 kilonewtons it is not a bar, it is a hollow metal section. That is, it is some pipe. The pipe is being pulled by 200 kilonewton force, and if the elongation is 200 mm and modulus of elasticity is 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square, then our aim is to find the area of the section that offers resistance, so that the elongation is restricted to or limited to 2 mm only. So then we have to find such a section such that that area offers the resistance to 200 kilonewton, so that the strain is only, the elongation is only 2 mm. Here load is given, that is 200 kilonewtons, 200,000 newtons. Diameter, outer diameter capital D is 50 mm, inner diameter D we do not know. So area is pi by 4 into d square minus d square, that is pi by 4 into 50 square minus small d square. Strain is, as we know, strain is delta L by L, changing length by original length. Therefore changing length is, it is given, it should be restricted to 2 millimeters. So length of the pipe is 2 meters, that is 2000 mm. So 2 by 2000 we will get 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Here we got strain as 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 without any units. So modulus of elasticity is E is equal to stress by strain. So stress is equal to modulus of elasticity into strain. Stress is equal to modulus of elasticity into strain. In terms of modulus of elasticity and strain, we are expressing the stress, but we know modulus of elasticity is 2 into 10 to the power 5. Strain is 1 into 10 to the power minus 3. Therefore, we get stress is equal to 200 Newton per mm square. So we know what is the stress on that ring. Now, knowing the stress and the force, we will find out the area. That is, we know force is 200,000 newtons and area we do not know, but stress we know. Stress is 200 Newton per mm square. Therefore, stress is load by area. Area is equal to load by stress. So area is equal to load is 200,000 by stress is 200 newtons. So 200,000 by 200 will get 1000 mm square. The area which we require to resist that force to give an elongation of 2 mm for that particular material which is having modulus of elasticity of 2 into 10 to the power 5 and also the length of 2 meters. Then only we will get that area. So if suppose the length is changed or the elongation is changed or the diameter is changed, we don't get these values, because these values are pertaining to that particular condition only. That is, the length should be 2 meters, the elongation should be 2 mm, the load should be 200,000 newtons, and the outer diameter is 50 mm. Therefore, we want now the area is equal to, area required is to have to resist the load, we require 1000 mm square area. So area is pi by 4 into d square minus d square should be equal to 1000. Therefore, d square is equal to, by rearranging the terms, d square is equal to 50 square minus 400 by pi, that is 1226.76 mm square. Then d is root of that 1226.76, we get 35.025, let us say 35 mm. So diameter inner diameter is 35 mm, outer diameter is 50 mm. Therefore thickness is equal to, we know what is the relationship between the outer diameter, inner diameter and the thickness. That is, outer diameter is equal to inner diameter plus 2 thicknesses. Therefore thickness is equal to outer diameter minus inner diameter by 2. Therefore 50 minus 35.025 by 2, we will get around 15 by 2, that is 17 and a half, or 7 point is, I mean 7 and a half, that is 7.487 mm. If we round it off to, we can say thickness of 7.5 mm. The required thickness is of that rod which is having the properties, that is the length is 2 meters, the elongation is 2 mm, applied load is 200 kilonewtons, and the modulus of velocity is 2 into 10 to the power 5. For that particular rod, to get only 2 mm elongation, we have to have a thickness of 7 mm, which is having the outer diameter of 50. So outer diameter is 50 and thickness is 7 mm. If this rod is used, then only we will get the same required results, that is 2 mm extension for the rod of 2 meters length, and also the modulus of velocity of 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. So we have seen 4 different types of problems, examples, to have clear idea about the how to find out the stresses, strains, modulus of velocity, elongation, and whatever the unknown is given. So by knowing stresses and strains, we can find out modulus of velocity, or by knowing modulus of velocity and stress, we can find strain, or by knowing the by knowing all the terms, only one unknown we can easily find out. So our basic relations are stress is equal to force by area, strain is equal to delta L by L, and modulus of velocity is equal to stress by strain. By knowing these 3 relations, we can use them in any combination, and we can find out the unknown terms which we have to find out in the given problems. So with the knowledge of these 3 equations itself, we can use them, and we can solve such problems in the simple stresses and strains. In the next session, we will be doing the bars with varying sections. Suppose some bar is having different sections of different cross-sectional areas. That is, those sections will be uniform areas, but in a bar there will be some different cross-sectional areas. Then the applied force will be constant throughout the bar. Therefore, the stresses in each part will be different. The more the area, the less the stress. The less the area, the more will be the stress. Therefore, more will be the elongation. So as the area decreases, the stress increases, and also the elongation increases. So for a compound bar which is having some different sectional cross-sectional areas, then we have to find out the total elongation. So we will see the method of superposition, that is the principle of superposition. That is, each bar, the extension of each bar we will calculate, and finally we add up to get the final elongation of the bar. So this is the topic which we are going to cover in the next class. So let us quickly recap whatever we have done in this session. That is, in this session we have taken example with a circular section. That is how, what are the stresses and strains we get when we apply load onto a circular section, and also we have seen the hollow circular section. That is how to find the what is the stress in the hollow circular section. That is the sections like pipes or tubes, when load is applied, what will be the stresses inside the section. That is, only there will be a small area, a small ring area, that is the outer diameter and minus inner diameter, there will be only a small annular ring. That area will resist the external force. So the stress is concentrated on that area, because the other thing is hollow. So hollow space cannot resist any stress. So entire force should be taken by the area of the cross section. So therefore only small area will be taking entire load, and that area will offer the resistance. That is, they will give the stress. Similarly, due to the stress, there will be some elongation or compression depending upon the force, whether it is tensile or compressive, and consequently we will get the strains. By knowing the stress and strains, we can find out the modulus of velocity, or by knowing the modulus of velocity, we can find stress or strain or any force or area or length, depending upon the values which become the terms which we know. So with this, let us conclude this session, and let us meet in the next session. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.